All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. So before we get into today's video, we have a sponsor for today's video, and that sponsor is The Ridge. As you probably know from our previous spots, they make high-quality compact wallets out of metal and elastic, and I've used and loved them for years. But I've recently been fond of the premium Damascus steel style. If you'd like to get yours, you can head to ridge.com/Brozime and enter code Brozime for 10% off. And thanks so much to The Ridge for sponsoring us once again. All right, everybody. Hello and welcome. So today we are going to be talking about update 30.9 Prime Resurgence. Prime Resurgence is happening in just a few days, and there is a lot to talk about here. And even after some things that have been addressed by DE, there are some significant problems with the Prime Resurgence. There are also some significant positives to be discussed, but this video is mostly going to focus on what's wrong with the Prime Resurgence, so hopefully things can get fixed before it is actually upon us, and at that point, things could get locked in that we don't want locked in. So what is Prime Resurgence? Prime Resurgence is basically what's going to be replacing the Prime Vault, theoretically. They state in their explanation of it that they are just trying this out, and if it does not work out, we may just go back to the Prime Vault. I would like to see this system fixed and replace the Prime Vault because I do think there are a lot of advantages to this system if they do it right, just to note right out the gate. But without those problems fixed, might be a tough one. So, what's happening here? So, for Prime Resurgence, basically what's going to occur here is that we're going to get a new vendor, Varzia, and they are going to be in Maru's Bazaar, and you are going to be able to trade with them Aya and Regal Aya. Now, over here real quick, what are Aya and Regal Aya? To break this down, Aya is the free-to-play farm currency. Regal Aya is a currency you can only buy. You can only buy it with real money. It is not tradable. For that, Aya, regular, is an earned currency that is your free path to gaining prime items through the in-game relic system. It is a resource that is exchanged for void relics and other non-premium items available in Varzia's wares. Aya is found in missions, the void, or bounties, or has a chance of appearing in relic packs that come from the market for platinum or through the syndicate offerings like we're used to. Now, with this, we have more details than this available that have been hard confirmed by DE, just to talk about what this stuff is going to be. Basically, anywhere where you would have previously found an unvaulted relic, you will instead get one Aya. One Aya can be directly traded with Varzia for any unvaulted relic. So, if you're going to look at an unvaulting of, say, Rhino, and you need his chassis, you can turn in Regal Aya for just the relics of his chassis. Meaning that this is, in effect, just allowing you to target farm for anything that is on the unvaulting by getting your regular Aya from anywhere. This is pretty objectively better than the system that we have now, where you are, of course, subject to the full randomness of whatever drop table you happen to be on, where you might get a unvaulted relic for Rhino's helmet instead of the chassis that you're looking for. But instead of being unlucky and getting a relic for a piece you already have, you will get the exact piece that you are looking for in any scenario where you would get anything that's unvaulted at all. That's purely beneficial. The free-to-play path through this, I think, is a raw improvement on how unvaultings have been done in the past, because it gives you more choice and just access to a bunch of different game modes, kind of wherever you want to farm for this Aya, like whatever is the best chances or the game mode that you like that can give you these unvaulted locations in order to get the relics you're specifically looking for. So there's no need to be like, well, I need the Lith, I have to go do this specific capture mission in the Void, or I need the Axie, I have to do this specific tier 5 bounty on Fortuna. You're not going to have that anymore because it's just Aya you get from anywhere is any relic you want. So there's a lot more player choice involved with that, and I think that's purely positive. I really want to be clear that the free-to-play path to get these items, I think, is going to be objectively better than it has ever been prior to this. And that's great. Super good. Where we enter into some problems, and the really main problems with this system, are with Regal Aya. Regal Aya is a premium currency similar to Platinum, not tradable. Gives instant access to Warframes, Prime Warframes, weapons, and accessories, and bundles available in Varzia's wares. It can be purchased in the market or online storefronts. And then there's the extremely thorough Dev Workshop FAQ, which it is extremely thorough, but states some things that are not true. So we're going to go through this extremely thorough FAQ and talk about some key points that are in here and how their goals do not line up with what has been done so far, even after some fixes from them. So, this is their intent. You can read this whole thing. I'll put the links down in like the comments or whatnot. But this is their intent. I've specifically marked out some key points that I want to touch on here. We first announced that we are looking at running a Prime Vault event of sorts in Devstream 156, and Prime Resurgence is just that. It is our first attempt at offering an alternative to the Prime Vault. A one-stop shop to gain access to vaulted Prime content and relics with a fully transparent schedule that allows players time to plan. A noble goal. That is very good. These are all things that I think all of us want, in effect, through an unvaulting. So that stuff is good. In addition to that, one thing we want to really drive home is that there is absolutely no scenario in bold in which a player cannot do what they could do before with the Prime Vault. More specifically, Prime Resurgence maintains the same two options to gaining access to Prime goods: instant access through purchasing, and then a free path, which is access through gameplay, which is what we're used to with the unvaulting events. That has been the case for all of the unvaultings. And that stuff is all very, very important. Up here, they detail some of the previous ways that these unvaultings have been improved, such as adding the standalone accessory packs, and then just some of the other ways things have been unvaulted, where Valkyria and Nyx are permanently unvaulted into Corpus Railjack, through Twitch drops, and then Volt and Odonata going through Baro Katir. Just other unvaulting things that they have done in the past. That's just described here for anyone that's not caught up on how these things have been done. So this is, like, great. Like, this is what you'd want, right? Especially with the clarification that they want things to essentially remain the same, but just to be better, and they want to unvault more. I think that's ostensibly what we all want, right? Is to have the things unvaulted that we are looking for, so that we may give DE money, and then they may give us the items. I would say that that's what we want. I would say that's really the main thing here. However, if we go down here, we have some adjustments. So initially, whenever this was released, there were prices here, and the prices have been changed slightly. So these are the prices in Regal Aya for these different items. This is the first week of unvaulting. It's Mag and Nova, and they come with these accessories. And you can see armor is 2 Aya, and then the other kind of minor accessory, we're going to call it, is 1 Aya. Okay? Initially, these armor sets were 3, and the minors were 1, so they would cost 4 total. If we look at the prices on Regal Aya, which is down here, we can see that it's $20 for 3 Aya. So essentially, it's $20, and you get both accessories. However, there are some adjustments based on which access you're getting. So Syndanas, very specifically stated here, are 2. Scotchers are 1, Sigils are 1. Sentinel accessories are 1. Lizette and decorations are 1. Extractors and such are 1. Armor sets are 2. Operator accessories and the Saita suit are 2. And the Kavasa stuff is 2. Okay. What this means is that there are some packs that contain a Syndana and then also an armor set, which would mean that through the Resurgence, $20 would no longer get you those packs. It would be 4 instead, so you would need to spend $40 and then have 3 left over in order to get that pack. Which, by itself, I am not, that's, fine. It's okay, they've divided this up in a way where you can really piecemeal it and really figure out what you want. And if the Syndanas just aren't worth it to you, then theoretically you spend less, right? Because you spend 2 on the armor and then have 1 left over for maybe, a sigil in the future that you want, or some other such thing towards something that you might get in the future. Theoretically, there's a balance to that. But a thing that they have not done from the Prime unvaultings, which we see here, is that if we look at the accessories packs as they stand now, like the Nyx accessory pack, this has the armor and the Sugatra, which would be 2 and 1 respectively, and this is $20. So, you'd get the 3 Aya and purchase this exactly as it is now, except you no longer get 200 platinum when you do that. And the value of 200 platinum is fairly significant, because that's most of the reason you would assume that this is $20 instead of something more along the lines of 10. Because if we look at the platinum prices, and I've got a discount right now, apologies, but you can see like the actual prices. For $20 regularly, you can get 370 platinum. So if you get the accessories and 200 platinum for $20 whenever there is a prime unvaulting, then you could say that the 200 platinum is making up, like, let's say about half of that. And then the accessories are worth about the other half, give or take. The platinum is quite valuable in this particular exchange. So is the flexibility of being able to get this armor and the distilling extractor worth the difference of 200 platinum? I think absolutely not. And this exchange gets worse whenever you start talking about these higher level packs. This is a $40 pack, and it comes with all of these items and 400 platinum. Now, if we look at what's going on in the Resurgence, there are packs available in the Resurgence. You have the Nova pack and the Mag pack. These are supposed to be the equivalents to those. These cost 6 Regal Aya. So, in those, if you spend $40, you get 7 Regal Aya, because you get 1 bonus. So, $40, you get 7 Regal Aya. You spend 6 on one of these packs, you will get all the things that are included in one of these Prime Vaultings. You'll have 1 Aya left over, you'll get 10k Endo, and you won't get 400 Platinum. Which is basically a full $20 of value, if not a little more, that you'd normally be expecting to get whenever you spend the $40. Making up, once again, theoretically about half of the price of this full pack. And on the top end, the dual pack, it's way, way worse, because the dual pack goes all the way up to 1200 platinum. And on the dual packs here, you can see that it comes with everything that you get in the dual pack on the Prime Unvault, minus 1200 platinum, plus 50k Endo. 50k Endo, going to be straight up with you. It is not worth 1200 platinum. That's hilarious to insinuate, and would be a foolish thing to say. 50k Endo just is not worth that. And even if you consider the in-game market prices and being able to spend that much platinum to get that much Endo, why would you, if they're equivalent, just give us the platinum, right? Like, if they were equivalent, they would just give us the platinum, right? Because the platinum is much more flexible and allows us to spend it on whatever we want. If we want that Endo from the market, which you shouldn't, then we are allowed to go and do that. We are fully free to go and do that. So this pack contains all the same things, minus 1200 platinum. And down here on the Regal Aya, there is not a $60 pack that is equivalent. It goes from 20 to 40 to 80. So this will cost $80, and you will have an additional 5 Regal Aya to use, which there are things to use it on. Like, if you buy this whole pack, then you'd theoretically wait for the next week, maybe grab some more accessories or whatever, and it's pretty much all equivalent pricing in terms of, like, what you're getting from it. But because there's no $60 pack, it basically forces you to spend an additional $20 if you want the dual pack, and you're missing 1200 platinum, if not more, because you're spending an additional $20. Like, you would ostensibly be able to believe that you should actually get 1500 or 1600 platinum because you're spending much, much more. D has pretty much committed to not fixing this. Like, with the changes that they have, like, outlined here, we're just going to go through and talk about exactly what they say. We would be remiss if we were unaware of the reasons for the popularity of Prime Accessories packs, the biggest being the inclusion of bonus platinum. To quote from the workshop, we simply cannot justify or reason with having players pay for one premium currency to purchase another. But we understand that platinum increases the value of the packs for players. While those differences in value vary between Prime Vault packs and Prime Resurgence rotations, our intent is to establish a happy medium by offering all of the scheduled Prime accessories over several months with the freedom to purchase individual items. Individual Prime accessories give players more choice, a new and far more flexible approach to Prime accessories access. Instead of waiting for a Primed accessory to become available through a single Prime Vault rotation, you now have the option to handpick your favorites from several. I have a lot of issues with this because I think that that's not true at all. With the decrease of 3 to 2 Regal Aya for a handful of accessories, that freedom of choice is increased that much more for players to determine that value where they see fit. The full schedule of rotations and Prime accessories for those rotations is available in the Workshop FAQ, so you can plan your future Regal Aya purchases if you choose to do so. I stated in the workshop we will be intently watching for feedback during and after the event has run, and we'll be reviewing data for future decision-making in the event that we choose to continue with Prime Resurgence. So, they've basically hard committed to not fixing this and adding Platinum back in to this Prime Resurgence from the change off of the Prime Vault. That is problematic. And the reason that that's problematic is because you're not getting any additional flexibility in actuality. Because, by and large, you would be spending $20 previously to get the to get the accessories pack, right? Then you just go up here and you get the Targus Prime Armor and the Distilling Extractor, and you just get that. You're still allowed to do that. The incredibly small amount of additional flexibility that you get is the ability to get the Targus Prime Armor and the Valorum Prime Sigil, or to wait for a different thing that you want for one Regal Aya. So you could just basically mix and match any higher tier item with any lower tier item. But you lose out on half of the value of spending that money. So are you willing to give up half of the value of your money for a minor decision between minor cosmetics? That doesn't seem like equivalent value to me. And I think to insinuate that it's of benefit to us for them to evaluate unvaulting everything as a positive for us, I think that's actually a bit foolish, because you would ostensibly believe that this increased amount of choice that they would give to us would then incentivize us to get the same value but have more customizability to incentivize a purchase, right? So instead of having to wait until the next thing gets unvaulted, they're going to unvault a large amount of items and hope that they can, with this Prime Resurgence and these packs that essentially give you more as you spend more, unvault a lot of things, and instead of spending $20, I'll spend $80 and buy a bunch of it. That would ostensibly be the plan and the benefit with a system like this, so why not give us the bonuses that we would have received if we just waited a long time for the Prime Vaults to happen? Unvaulting more things at once is good for us, for sure, but it is also good for DE. This is an equivalent exchange. They are offering more things to purchase that we may want to buy, and we are getting the opportunity to buy all that stuff. They should just want to do that. There's not an increase in value because you are offering it to us. Just it being there is an of course situation. Of course you would like to sell me this thing. Yes, obviously. That's why the Prime Unvaulting exists, is so that you can sell it to me. That's what a business does. But this is selling it as a markup. Who's the middleman that took all of the platinum out of this? Just because we're having all of this stuff available means that it's more expensive? Because I get more choice, there's now a higher cost? That just doesn't make any sense. You'd like me to spend more for basically no reason. There's no world in which that really follows. Because you would think, if they really wanted to incentivize, the Regal Aya purchases, they would actually give it so that there are platinum bonuses to buying Regal Aya, which is the thing they explicitly state they don't want you to do. Because they don't want you to have to purchase 2 different premium currencies at once? That seems like a really flaccid justification. And also, if they didn't want us to have to purchase 2 different premium currencies, the option to just release this for platinum exists and is there. You could do that. I see a lot of reasons why you wouldn't. But adding platinum to this is just a pure value add for anyone purchasing them. And if you were doing it before, what suddenly is the reason that you can't do it now? Because even in the case where this is $80 now for the 15, and they're going to say that the extra 5 Aya is what you get out of it, and you just get, very simply, 200, 400, 1200, not even increasing this to like 15 or 1600, I think people would still be pretty happy with that, because like the higher end pack, you get less platinum than you used to, but through the small justifications of like, oh, you get more flexibility with it, and you do actually get more than a dual pack whenever you buy it. And like they've added endo to these packs to like, you know, make it a little bit more appealing to purchase these together as opposed to purchasing things separately. There are considerations in there where like if this was just, you know, 1200 platinum along with the 15 Aya, I'd be very okay with it. But because you're removing the platinum entirely, which again makes up like at least half of the value of these packs, it devalues the Prime Resurgence in general. And you've hit it from both ends with this, where it is much, much less appealing to purchase anything with Regal Aya, and it is way, way more appealing to just farm it, because the farming has ostensibly been made easier. Like, we have a better amount of focus where we can focus in on the specific pieces that we need to build these items that are gameplay relevant, and you're de-incentivizing me spending money? It seems like if you wanted to maximize the amount of money that gets spent, that you would do the opposite, actually, where you would maybe take these and you'd be like, okay, well, the farming is going to remain the same and we're going to change it to this system, and because we really want you to buy this stuff, instead of 200 platinum, you're actually going to get 100 platinum per Aya that you buy. So it would be 300, 700, 1500. So as opposed to the previous, you'd be looking at $40 for 700 platinum. That's 300 platinum better than the 400 you get now. I mean, that seems like a deal to me. I mean, it's like, it becomes really hard to justify not grabbing one of these packs whenever you want one of these pieces of armor, or if you want like maybe just a Warframe, it's like, well, I get 700 platinum alongside it. That actually has like a real amount of value, especially when you consider the actual prices of platinum. 700 platinum is approaching like the regular price of like $50. That has a huge amount of appeal, especially for a limited time event, which is what Prime Resurgence is going to be. So it's really just baffling to me. I really want to advise no one to buy this. Like, don't buy this. The farming is going to be better than it's ever been. Like, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity to go through and be like, I don't have Mag or Nova Prime, farm them. I don't have Limbo or Trinity Prime, farm them. I don't have Mesa or Hydroid, farm Mesa. I don't have Vulture Loki, grab them both. Volbon and Ash, just farm them. Over on Necros, farm them. Farm them, farm them, farm them. Get every one of these Prime Warframes that you haven't farmed, because it's going to be the best time it's ever been to do so. And not to mention that, they've also added last chances to this. So if you're here in, week 1 with Mag and Nova, and oh, dang, you missed out on grabbing Nova's systems, you don't have the relics for it, you can farm Aya all throughout this event, which is going to be months long. And then when we get to January 11th for Last Chance Part 1, it's the first 4 packs again. So you can go in and grab those relics that you missed to grab those Nova systems and go out and farm them and get them. So this system was developed in a way that is so objectively friendly to a free-to-play player and someone who's just going to farm these items, and I am a gigantic fan of that. That's great. That's obviously just good for us as free-to-play players and players who are just going to go and farm things based on all the information that we have now before the release, before the 16th. And then you contrast that with the me paying DE option becoming half as good, if not worse. And it just doesn't make any sense to me, because another thing that they're offering with this Prime Resurgence is the ability to purchase the Prime Noggles, which we don't actually know the price of. No, we do. They're right down here. They're 1 Regal Aya each. And 1 Regal Aya each, we're looking at like roughly $7 per Prime Noggle. But for me personally, I would like all of the Prime Noggles. So if these packs were priced in a way where it's like, well, I also get Platinum with them, I'm probably finishing my entire Prime Noggle collection in that case. But with Aya being the value that it is, spending $40 for 7 Noggles with nothing else attached to it, that feels pretty bad. Like, that feels really not great. So it's a very strange setup here. It's kind of exactly the reverse of what you might expect, because the worst thing about this is that I don't understand it from a business perspective, right? Like, it would be easy to, like, assume that, like, there's, like, some villainy at work here where it's like, oh, they've decreased the value that players, like, get whenever they spend money with DE. They're trying to give us ye old scam. And it's like, okay, I could see where you're getting that, but that is directly contrasted with some of the best farming we've ever seen for any of these unvaultings ever. Like, it's going to be easier than it has ever been to get these Warframes. So, why disincentivize us spending? It doesn't make sense. Like, those two, they just don't, I know I'm repeating myself, but I really want to express that those two things don't go together. Like, you don't release a scam and then be like, hey, if you take the trash out for me, I'll just give it to you for free, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So it seems like there's some weird valuation on DE's side, or some inability to change this that I just don't understand. I don't understand where it's coming from, and I would really suggest that no one buy any of this. Like, if you have to purchase something, the absolute most I would suggest you do is spend $20 on that cosmetic you've been waiting for. Under no circumstances should you buy, like, the prime packs, like the dual pack, the regular pack, none of this stuff. Do not buy any of that. The absolute most you should be getting are the accessories, or maybe a Noggle or two of your favorite Warframe. I think that's, like, you know, if you want it, obviously I can't stop you from spending, but, like, vote with your wallet here. Do not buy these prime packs. They are colossally not worth it. I would urge you to spend actually nothing on this, because they have disincentivized it in such a massive way, and I would encourage you to instead farm all this stuff. Yeah, it's very strange. I really just don't get it. And, like, putting out statements, like, on Reddit here, and that, like, and really just, like, barreling down on committing to not making this better is real rough. But yeah, I'm not gonna suggest that you, like, you know, go be, like, super, like, don't be, like, angry. I mean, be angry, sure, but, like, don't, like, no, don't do any, like, the death threat shit. Don't do anything stupid. But, like, give DE your feedback on this. Like, we're already seeing on, like, the latest hotfix, you know, we have the very first comment: please add platinum to Regal Aya purchases. Thanks. Great way to give feedback. Fucking throw a shitload of likes or whatever on this. Let DE see that, like, this is important to the community. And, like, stating that it's unacceptable, I think, is very, very fine, because I think that it is. And just don't buy it. Like, just don't buy it. Vote with your wallet. It's, yeah. Like, as someone that recently, like, I bought the Prime Access. I bought this recent Prime Access, right? And the reason that I bought this is because Prime Accesses, traditionally, they are worth it. Like, there is a lot of platinum to go along with grabbing these items, and the Prime accessories are nice. And I like these Prime accessories. I think they're cool. And having some boosters in here, and having all these incentives to spend, like, you know, a large amount of money is, like, good for the Prime accesses. And the reason that I buy Prime accesses is to support DE, right? Like, I don't need to buy this Prime access. I really don't at all. I definitely didn't need to buy the one that includes Nidus and everything, because I also already farmed sets of this Warframe and sold them on the free-to-play account. It's not that hard to farm. Farming a new PA is, like, pretty simple. It only takes a couple of hours. But I bought it because from the recent things the DE has been doing, like the balance changes and adding stuff to Seal Path, and, you know, like, recent quest stuff that we've gotten, besides Wave Rider, which is a little nah, but still, and, like, you know, the design of Nidus, and, like, I enjoy how he looks. Like, there's a lot of good the DE has been doing recently, and that's the reason that I decided to buy this Prime Access. And that's the stuff that really makes a difference whenever we're talking about a new system like this. Like, if you don't like this, give your feedback that these packs need to include platinum, equivalent to what we used to get from the Prime Unvaults. And if they make that change, commit to what you said. If they add the platinum to this, then I would fully advise, like, yeah, purchase it. At that point, it is a raw, better system. Buy whatever you want. Buy what makes you happy. Spend what you're comfortable spending. because this would be a better, more flexible system that is player positive in all ways if it had equivalent platinum to the old system. Because this old system is worse, it's just a better value. So yeah, that's where Aya and Regal Aya is. Again, just to state, I think regular Aya is a good thing, and the way that they have explained it and confirmed so far that it works is a raw benefit to players, but this new way to pay is just not good. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope they do further changes to this, because like obviously time is ticking down. They got, they got about 3 days before this is just out and we have to like deal with it. And once again, like, vote with your wallet. It matters. I think a lot of people voted with their wallet on the last Prime Access because, we have the information from DE that this is the most successful Prime Access ever. And for me personally, I think that's a direct evaluation of how good the recent patches have been and how much Warframe has improved over this year. So yeah, I mean, that's how I view those, monetary statistics. I hope I'm right on that. And I hope that the community responds in the way that you'd expect. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Just wanted to go over this stuff. It's a very mixed bag because I feel completely opposite ways about regular Aya and Regal Aya. And I wish I could feel about Regal Aya the way I feel about regular Aya. But it's just not going to happen. Hopefully it does, though. Maybe things change. Maybe they undouble down from this no platinum business and give people the value that they've been getting. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video. I'm terrible at ending videos. I will see you guys tomorrow. Or on stream. Twitch.tv/Brozime. Go hang out. We're doing stuff.